Okay, are you okay?
The mics. Are you all ready? Okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Ghana Gold Board, I'd like to welcome all of you to our head office. We've had to call this press conference at such short notice because of the need for us to update the nation and by extension partners involved in gold trading in Ghana about the ongoing transition of license and regime governing the gold trading sector of Ghana. As we all know, Ghana is endowed with huge gold resources as a country. As we speak, Ghana is the lead exporter of gold, and has to be harnessed properly for the benefit of the Ghanaian people. This is the main vision of the NDC Mahama government, which has led to the establishment of the Ghana Gold Board, an institution tasked with a mandate to streamline and structure gold trading in Ghana and to ensure that we are able to optimize national benefits from the entire value chain of our gold resources. The Ghana Gold Board Act 25 Act 1140 was passed on the 29th of March of this year by the August House of Parliament and assented to by His Excellency the President on the 2nd of April. Since then, that law has been enforced. But as a new organization with a new mandate, we saw it necessary, we deemed it necessary to adopt a gradualist approach to implementation of our mandate and to ensure that we provide ample time for stakeholders to comply with the new statutory regime that governs gold trading in Ghana. And so we've invited you here in previous time for other press conferences at which we gave deadlines and later extended the deadlines for persons engaged in gold trading to apply for a gold board license. We gave a final non-extendable deadline of 21st of June. 21st of June has come and gone, and we don't intend to extend that license, that deadline. And so the main purpose of this press conference is to inform you, our friends in the media, and by extension, the good people of Ghana, that the new gold board licensing regime has taken full effect, effective immediately. Who has gone through the lay-down due process and has been issued with a license by the Ghana Gold Board can legally engage in gold trading in Ghana. What that simply means is that if you are not licensed by the Ghana Gold Board, you are committing a crime if you buy gold or you engage in any form of gold trading. All the previous licenses that various traders involved in gold trading had from the defunct Precious Minerals Marketing Company, PMMC, and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources have all been revoked by the Ghana Gold Board Act. And we will no longer continue to respect those licenses. So whereas we allowed various stakeholders to buy gold, to trade gold with their previous PMMC licenses or licenses to deal in gold issued by the minister responsible for mines, same is not the case as we speak today. That legal regime has come to an end. And so, even though we know that ignorance of the law is no excuse, we want to, for the last time, use your various state platforms to communicate to all our stakeholders across the country that do the needful. We are not saying that you cannot apply for a good board license today simply because the deadline has elapsed. That is not the meaning of the deadline. Anybody who wants to trade in gold can apply for a gold board license at any time of their choice. At any time of their choice. And once you apply, we will consider your application in a spirit of fairness and transparency. And we will make sure that once you meet the eligibility criteria, you are given your license. But what the deadline means is that if you do not have a gold board license, as we speak today, you cannot legally buy or trade in gold in Ghana. So all you have to do is to wait, apply for the license, be issued with a license before you engage in gold trading. If you flout this important legal provision, you will be committing a very serious offense. And I want to address our minds to Section 63 of Act 1140, the Ghana Gold Board Act 2025, which says that a person shall not buy gold from a person in the country unless that person has been issued with a license by the gold board. And when you are issued with a license, it comes with terms and conditions. The terms and conditions can be gleaned from our website. Every category of license comes with its own unique terms and conditions. Every license also comes with its own requirements. And we have put in place appropriate measures to ensure continuous compliance with these important regulations at all times by our licensees to ensure not only responsible trading, but to ensure that the state is able to benefit from the trading of our gold and other precious minerals. And so Section 63, subsection 2 provides that a person who contravenes a provision of subsection 1, and subsection 1F is what says that you can't buy gold without a license. It says a person who contravenes a provision of subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of not less than 50,000 penalty units and not more than 200,000 penalty units, or to a term of imprisonment of not less than 5 years and not more than 10 years, or to both. So you can see from the imprisonment term that this is a very serious offense. And it's our expectation that all stakeholders will play by the rules so that we will not have to crack the whip or anybody. But for those who are hell-bent on trading illegally without a license, we are serving notice that we are coming after you. On the 8th of July, His Excellency the President, on whose vision the Gold Board has been established, will commission a very important unit of the Ghana Gold Board. This will be a public event and the media is cordially invited. This event is going to be the inauguration of the Gold Board Task Force. So 8th July at 8:30 a.m. at the National Security Secretariat, popularly called Blue Gates. There is a yard in there somewhere where this event will be taking place, and the media is cordially invited. Further details about this program will be put out there. It's a very important program because on that day, the president will outdoor this new security task force who have the same powers as police officers and who have been given a special and specific mandate to help the state combat and defeat the phenomenon of gold smuggling, the canker of gold smuggling, the canker of illegal gold trading, and price disruptions that deprive the state of the needed revenue, the needed profits, the needed forex for our economy and the development of our country. as a whole. And this task force will be driven by the intelligence unit that we have already deployed across the country, gathering information on the activities of all smugglers and illegal gold traders. We know you. You are not in hiding at all because your cover is blown. We know who you are. So you better do the needful and stop the illegal gold trading you're engaging in and the gold smuggling and come for a license and do your business as a responsible citizen and contribute to the development of Ghana. Aside the intelligence unit will be the investigative unit under this task force, as well as the Gold Board Tribunal provided for by the Gold Board Act, which will be established before the 8th of July. And all measures are being put in place to ensure that the mandate is executed to the full, to ensure that the states and the people of Ghana derive maximum benefits from our gold resources. Many people, many entities have applied for gold board licenses as we speak. By the 21st June deadline, we had received over 300 applications for the buyer license tier 1. We had received close to 200 applications for the license buyer, the buyer license tier 2, and about 30 applications for the self-financing aggregation license. For the aggregator license, we have received about 15 of them. As we speak, management, with approval of the board, has approved over 240 licenses. But once the applications are approved for conforming with the requirements of the licenses, we need to now do it digitally by sending you an email that your license has been approved. You also get that in your account because the Gold Board license application platform ensures that every applicant creates an account before they apply for a license. So you get the notification that we have applied, we have approved your license in the system. You are asked to pay the license fee, which you pay digitally through ghana.gov. And when we receive confirmation of payment, we process your license, we print it, goes through audit verification, and we then sign the license. And so 240 applications cutting across all the 4 categories have been approved. But as we speak, just about 123 have been actually printed and issued. And I can report to you that 1 aggregator license has been approved and issued. 3 self-financing aggregator licenses have been approved and issued. 32 license buyers, tier 2 license buyers have been approved, and 87 tier 1 license buyers. So a lot of people are complying with the law, and we commend them. For those who have been notified that the applications have been approved but are yet to pay the money, please take urgent steps to pay the money. And if you've paid your money and you're not hearing from us, do contact our licensing team so that if there is any hiccup somewhere, they can quickly rectify that for you to get the necessary notification for us to proceed with the process. For those of you who have also paid and your licenses have been duly printed and signed, you need to immediately make your way to our headquarters here to pick the hard copy of the license. And when you come there, you need to come with your Ghana card, and there are some basic information that we need you to provide us before we give you the licenses. The licenses are valid for 12 months. And so when you see us launch or inaugurate the task force, don't say that, hey, who are these people? Yes, they will be in uniforms, not the regular uniforms that the military or police officers wear, but the civilian operatives who are national security operatives will be in their own uniforms. And on the 8th of July, the president himself will showcase that. But as part of the task force are also members of the military and members of the Ghana Police Service, who will be deploying on a permanent and sustainable basis to all mining areas and gold trading areas to ensure that anybody trading in gold is complying with the law. And if you are found culpable, you will not be spared. Nobody can call to make any intervention for us to leave you off the hook. We will make sure that we take you through the full rigors of the law. So, by way of summary, This is the short announcement that we have for our stakeholders. If you don't yet have a gold board license, make sure you have it. And don't say that I've applied for the license, I don't have the license. So because I have applied, I will continue to trade. You must wait and get a license before you trade, because getting the license helps us to trace the entire value chain. We know who is buying what quantity. And therefore, if gold is being smuggled, we will know. And when you're buying the gold, the terms and conditions of the license mandates you to issue mandatorily the approved and official gold board receipt, which helps us to reconcile, what is going on in the gold trading space across the country and make sure that we are getting value for money as a country. The gold board has so far been a great blessing to Ghana, and there is no gain saying that. Within the short period that we have operated, first as PMMC and now as Gold Board, we've exported close to 50 tons of gold as we speak. And that is gold from just the small scale sector. And for the first time in Ghana's history, gold export from the small scale sector has exceeded gold exports from the large scale sector, showing clearly that the small scale sector is a very important and critical sector that, as the president said, if properly harnessed, can really help the development and the transformation we all seek for our beloved country. And that is why he has established the Ghana Gold Board. And so we will not let the people of Ghana down. When you hear that we have exported over 50 tons of gold, because this month alone we are doing almost 9 tons of gold, then you know that this month alone we brought in nothing less than $900 million in forex for the Bank of Ghana. And so if the Bank of Ghana has enough forex liquidity for the market and for government obligations, and the CD is strong and stable, it is because of some of these things that the Gold Board is doing. And we hope to sustain this. You know that in the whole of 2024, gold exports for the whole year stood at 66 tons, with an export value of $4.6 billion. We've done only 6 months, and yet we've crossed the $4.6 billion we got for the whole of 2024. We've crossed it. We've gone beyond $5 billion. And in terms of the volumes too, we're almost getting to 66 tons. We've done 50 tons and over. And we are optimistic that by the end of the next month, we would have hit the 60 tons. And we are doing all this so that we cut out the activities of enemies of the state, the criminals who have decided to engage in gold smuggling and deprive of our nation of the needed revenue for development and forex for currency stability. And with the establishment of the Gold Board and the inauguration of the task force that has been set up by the Gold Board under the direction of President Mahama and the Minister of Finance, we hope to intensify the fight against smuggling, because the approach so far has been ad hoc. We have been relying on men from the national security apparatus on an ad hoc basis. So you realize that anytime we deploy national security to the market, there is discipline. But anytime we recall them, then you see people engaging in all form of vices in the market. This time around, we are not going to recall them because we have a permanent standby force protecting the national interest, ensuring that everybody trading in gold has a license. And to have a license means we have your data, we've done the necessary due diligence on you, we know the source of the money you're using to trade in gold, and we know it is clean money and not fraught with any money laundering or terrorism financing funds. And we also know that you are a Ghanaian, because foreigners are not allowed to engage in gold trading anymore. I think that has become a broken record. Everybody knows that. Most of the foreigners have complied with the law and have left. Others are still hiding in their rooms in Kumasi and Obuasi and other places. And we have picked intelligence on them. And in the coming weeks, you see us raiding most of their hideouts and arresting them and seizing their gold and so on. And this time around, we are not going to deport any foreigner. We are going to make sure that we prosecute the matters to the very end. Because if Ghanaians will be prosecuted, then the situation cannot be different for foreigners who brazenly oppose the law. So we want to call on the media to help us to sensitize the public, particularly those who desire to engage in gold trading or who wants to buy gold, to follow due process. If you want to know that an entity is licensed by the Gold Board to deal in gold, please go to our website, goldboard.gov.gh. Effective tomorrow, not today, effective tomorrow. You can check the repository tab. When you click on the repository tab, you will see the list of all licenses we have issued. You will know who is an aggregator, who is a tier 2 buyer, who is a tier 1 buyer, and that list will be updated regularly so that you are not defrauded or you are not misled, because that will not be an excuse for violating the law. So the long and short of this press conference is that the transition is complete. The new legal regime governed by the Ghana Gold Board Act of 2025, Act 1140, has fully taken place, and hence anybody who desires to buy gold or engage in gold trading must get a gold board license. Your PMMC licenses will no longer be recognized. Your licenses from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources will no longer be recognized, because we've given you ample time to follow due process and apply for a new license, be issued with that license, and do your work legally in conformity with the new regime. On that note, I want to thank you once again for coming, and say that we are counting on you to spread the message, to spread the word, to educate Ghanaians. Because what we are doing is very important. Those engaged in smuggling, I repeat, are enemies of the state. Those engaged in illegal gold trading are enemies of the state, because when they do that, they deprive all of us of the needed forex that we need so badly to stabilize the national currency and the revenue we need to develop our communities. And we cannot allow for that to happen. Because if Gold Board gets the gold and exports the gold and brings the forex to the Bank of Ghana, the economy becomes stronger, the CD becomes stronger, and all of us benefit, because it translates into stable prices. It translates into better livelihoods and living conditions for all of us. And that is why we must see this Gold Board initiative as not a partisan political agenda, but as a national agenda that we must all support. Thank you very much once again. So before I do a translation in the P language, I would want to find out if you have any questions for me. Are there any questions? Because if you don't have any questions, I can quickly do a P translation for you. Okay. Okay. Somebody has a question? Who? All right, I'm going.
My name is Michael. Some of the officers go there, job that they are. One measure we put in place to deal with those officers who be going on and they fail, they will put a compromise with their duty. But that is the main thing, the trust.
You've asked a very important question, and it is something that we've thought of. And so we have to, we've put a lot of measures in place to serve as checks and balances, and to ensure that the task force we are going to deploy with so much powers and we are deploying technology to ensure that we check the members of the task force. Now, the Gold Board Act prescribes that Gold Board inspectors and any task force that we put in place, they cannot go to anybody's office, to audit them or to check what they are doing, okay, without a written warrant signed by the chief executive officer. So you can't be on a frolic on your own, gallivanting around Ghana and harassing miners and gold buyers and all that because you are a member of the Gold Board Task Force. You need a written warrant. And if a member of the Gold Board Task Force or a Gold Board inspector comes to you without a written warrant signed by the chief executive officer, you must report him to be sanctioned. Again, the officers that we are deploying at all material times when they are embarking on field operations must wear their bulletproof vest, which will have fixed on them body cams. And so on the day of their inauguration, I'm sure you're going to see them in their uniforms, you're going to see them in their bulletproof vests with their ballistic plates in their ballistic helmets, and they have body cams. So what the body cams allow us to do, not only body cams on them, their vehicles, which we are procuring, also has trackers, GPS trackers. And we have a command center. We have a command center at our head office to monitor their operations, meaning that everywhere at the Gold Board Task Force will be at any material time, we will know sitting here in Accra because the vehicles are tracked and you cannot remove the tracker without us knowing. When you are going to embark on an exercise, you must wear the body cam for us to watch real-time video of the exercise. We will also deploy those at the various places that they are reading on your conducting their field operations. So you cannot seize so somebody said, who watches a watchman? There are checks and balances, some technology based, some administrative, to make sure that, you cannot totally eliminate such tendencies, but we must make sure that we are able to control it to its bearer's uniform, bearer's level. So that is what we seek to do. By the time we inaugurate the task force too, would have been through with our whistle blowing policy on illegal gold trading, gold smuggling, and other gold-related offenses. We are developing a policy. Our toll-free lines are ready, and I'm sure on the 8th, the president himself will put out the toll-free lines. And so any Ghanaian citizen by providing the toll-free lines. Even if you think that the people involved are own officers, you can do so. And the policy will ensure that your anonymity is protected and guaranteed. And there will be motivational incentives in place for anybody who accurately reports the activities of illegal gold traders and smugglers, and which are reports lead to arrest and seizures. Once we arrest and seize, the law says within 7 days we should go to the Gold Board Tribunal and validate the seizure. Once the seizure has been validated, we can do the needful by confiscating. And once we confiscate, a certain percentage of the value of that gold will be given to that whistleblower. If it's a media person, then that money may be enough for you to quit your media career, because you know that gold is a very high value commodity. So a very significant percentage of the value will go to whistleblowers, and the tax operations and arrest the perpetrators of those crimes. So we are combining technology, checks and balances, whistleblowing and incentive packages and other administrative measures to ensure that we are able to defeat the canker of gold smuggling, illegal gold trading, and price disruptions in the
Yeah, you mentioned that
Yes, there are no foreigners involved. But in this country, we have a situation where foreigners engage in an activity that make local people front it while the operation is being conducted by the foreigners. Is you're actually going to do to ensure that the foreigners don't get involved in it at all.
Well, it's all about how strong our intelligence gathering system will be. And I'm telling you that it's going to be very strong. We are going to be very strong on the ground, um, on the quiet, gathering information about these activities. Because even as we speak now, we know a lot of Ghanaians who are fronting for Indians and foreigners. A lot of them, they are in Takwa, they are in Anyinem, they are in Kumasi, they are in Obuasi. We know them. Foreigners, most of them have gone into hiding. Just a few ones are still in the system, and we are on the head hunt for them. And even those who have gone on into hiding and have gotten some unpatriotic Ghanaians to front for them will be exposed. It's just a matter of time because the intelligence gathering system we are deploying is very strong, and we are going to see that. And the law provides for very stiffer punishment for Ghanaians who engage in fronting. So if you look at Section 63 of the GOLDBOD Act, it provides that a person shall not front or connive with a foreigner or a company to acquire a license under this act or regulations made under this act. So once you are conniving to do that, or you're trying to front for a foreigner, you're committing an offense. And we want to admonish all Guineans to stay away from this menace. Okay, we're good? All right. Nti, abusuafo, say, and your friend wa iti. If yɛn nananom pɛ nso sika kɔkɔɔ aboa wɔ man yi paa ba yɛn nyinaa yɛbɛyɛ adwene sɛ mfaso a ɛwɔ sɛ nka wɔn man no nya firi sika kɔkɔɔ wɔ nyame de adom yɛ no ɛnyɛ ade a yɛtumi nya mu dodoɔ naa ɛsiane sɛ tu sika kɔkɔɔ de fi fam wie a ɛkwan a yɛfa so tɔn no ɛfi mmerɛ tenten bɛsi nnɛ aban nhyɛ da mfa n'ani nni akyiri ɛnyɛ wo hyehyɛeɛ yie sɛne ɛbɛyɛ a ɔman nya so mfa so nti ɛtu ɛfam hɔ bi no na yɛama nipabɔnefoɔ bi dodoɔ naa no aborɔfo ebi so ghanafoɔ na ɔmafa kwati kwan so atɔ gold no a ɔmomfa pampa so koraa ɛyɛ sport so ɔmode afa Togo border anaa ɔmode afa Cote d'Ivoire sika no kɔ a ɛmma ɛtoɔ so a wɔsɛ yɛtumi gye firi wɔn hɔ de ɔman no yie so ɛnyɛ dɛn ɛmma mfasoɔ koraa kyɛn na ɛno na ama ɔmanpanyin Mahama wayɛ nhyehyɛeɛ a ɛnɛ Ghana GOLDBOD adwumayɛkuo no wate na wama mmarahyɛbadwafoɔ so ayɛ mmara na ɔde ne nsa ahyɛ aseɛ na mmara no ɛbɔ GOLDBOD akyi no mmara no aba abɛboa ama ɛnnɛ yɛwɔ nhyehyɛeɛ foforɔ a ɛkyerɛ kwan a obi a ɔpɛ sɛ ɔtɔ gold no ɛwɔ sɛ wɔfa so de tɔ license a ɛwɔ sɛ ne nsa ka na watumi atɔ no mmara no ayɛ saa nhyehyɛeɛ no nyinaa yɛabɔ ho dawuraa sɛ wɔn a wɔyɛ gold adwuma no obiara mɛgye GOLDBOD license no bi mmara no di kan baeɛ no yɛansɔre prɛko paa nkɔka sɛ wo a wonni license no bibiara no ntumi ntɔ gold yɛanyɛ ne saa because yɛnim sɛ Rome was not built in a day ɛna wofiti prɛko pɛ so pɔ si abogyaba nti ɛwɔ sɛ yɛyɛ ne kakra yɛatwɛn biara from 2nd April the whole of April abɛtwam May abɛtwam June abɛtwam bosome mmiɛnsa yɛnim sɛ wei deɛ obiara bɛka sɛ yɛayɛ adeɛ yɛama obiara bosome mmiɛnsa sɛ sɛ wopɛ GOLDBOD license ɛkwan da wɔbra no abɛgye woba a woyɛ license na wokɔpa a ɛyɛ manual a obi kɔ akɔgye wo bribe license no wofa mobile phone anaa wo laptop a wobɛtumi apply biribiara wɔ so koraa woma yɛ office a wobɛba a na woba abɛgye hard copy nti yɛyi nneɛma a nipa yɛ wɔ license processes no firi sɛ na ɛbɛyɛ abɛsɛm biara no na qualified biara no wo apply a ɛbra no sɛ within 60 days na wo saa ka wempo deɛ yɛayɛ ne ntɛntɛm so ɛni bosome over 200 of those licenses 240 yɛagye ato about emu baako yɛ aggregator, emu mmiɛnsa yɛ self-financing aggregators, emu aduowɔtwe mmienu 82 ɛyɛ tier 2 buyers, tier 1 buyers, emu 34 ɛyɛ tier 2 buyers. Minimum kasa ni manimu ya yetimi issue licenses bebrebe. Licenses no issue na abo ama GOLDBOD enye sika kakra. Eno nti nipa bebre nsa aka license no. Asabo so me nsa ba da nipa bebre nsa aka license ne dia. Na de yetimi ntonko so se omo ni GOLDBOD license no omo ne omo wo license ni na akoso nya adwuma. Ene se sa na nka ye be ya na ne hu nya prase no bi kwaje license. Ye pese obi adi mmara so nti omo adi mmara so ne nya adwuma no so paso nti no ene ye bo bi akoko se license ne de se wo meje ya e wa wasem time out bi abitima beje oba so a na qualify nko a ye be ma ye nhwe o party wo free man na fi a wo free man na wo din once you qualify now you Ghana ni nko a de a ye the license be ma. However, there's only license as we speak to see a you only license there and you to go that na mra no so kire se woto sa mra na obetimi akọ afiase emfie num ekosi emfie du nti eye offense ya enwa so twe no ya so twe kakapa na ye mpese ye de sa twe no bi Ghana bia eno nti e be se obia rayi hu a ene ye tu hu fu ye because the tax force I can one sem no am I ready na ya train omo. We've gone through rigorous military training. That was to military camp for 2 to 3 weeks. And even as we speak, we are training them, and they are enough to cover Ghana. Akadio nyina so ye de ma wo na wo matimi aye adwuma yiye ama Ghana so mfaso. And that task force intelligence team akwaku a enhwehwemu akwaku a de wona soto from agitated information about the course go good adwuma ni mu bia. It is always a good thing boni e we sumase a you would that down because enche kra no from ebebo ama kokoto adaho ama wadapa adadi eno nti ye besrew se pamra kwanso because ye so mu a opanyi bia ni wa obetumi afrese ye nyai wa ye bijayo emra no ni obidi no so mampanyi ankasa na ebo ye chidom se ye mamra no enye adwuma enti enko ye se mra ne bedi kwaku na eba kwabena de a emra ne ni no panyi si aba ye de botechi no eno an ye de boba enti ya frem na na ye pese mo fa mo fi kese so na mo de ma Ghana fo nyina ete sa okoboi se GOLDBOD mra foforo na parliament ye no ya twan nya abotra se di abotre na yeye efiti asa ye de adwuma na ye nya mfiti ase ekra implement mra no fully no Ghana nya GOLDBOD no so faso bebre gold ankane na efa aban na nsase na nyina nipa bonifo bi de kọ amama ya hodo so ne nya so faso no ene joma amada romanti GOLDBOD ara romanti gold nyina na yetimi tomu dodo na a o man ni nya so faso if January ABC and now sector ye de akwa ama no ne akoton ama o man Ghana ebro 50 tons of gold. 1 ton of gold we are more than $100 million. You got 50 tons of gold we are talking about over $5 billion of forex I generating. We program any IMF here. In few years, IMF for so member is 3 billion. And okra no mbu ni touch 6 months bi ani akoje kakra. 6 months bi ani akoje kakra. Ya just what I was here good boys. Na ye komo mo market hu se ya ade ansa na mo didi akayo. We dey etia yeye yankasa ya fa ye natural resources na hye nsemu a ye nya so mfaso a na Bank of Ghana forex o hia bia no munya enti ade a ebo a wo man na je se wo a wo mpe Ghana yie na be kasa di we enya ade pa o dollar ba for me obia enya so mfaso ama fa ngobo aba fom ama nyeme wo dwemu a ye de dollar ne kra ba bia no ebo no aba fom kakra ana ejina be bia ejina airline fo nyina kra tete omunyema so because dollar e be aba fom GOLDBOD and other state agencies na RSA who say obi to gold. Now they are smuggling the gold. No boy amane. On the 8th of July, GOLDBOD tax force no. Mampinyi be pa wontuma. Pa wontuma, ya the two free lines be tudwa. Ya the whistle blowing policy be tudwa. The chiri nyina ne say yes wudi nkonkonsa. But say okohu say obi say o man no. E wo go the dwuma mu. To good kwan bonus so ni license on famra kwan so emfa go ni kwa manone. Na o man ni hwiri sika na boy amane a ye be bo wo ban. Na ye be san so ayiwaye. Besanso wada wase sika fam a aye sika emu eduru ye pa wo so be hu se information wo de maye no wanya so mfa so enti saa nyema ni nyina na ye de betudwa on the 8th of July e fa saa akonya so e de invite semtrofo nyina se mo betimi abadwumade ni bi e no mampanyi behwe mo anim na Ghana for so e de o maso afem ye saa da no na enhyehyɛ ye ka GOLDBOD tax force no woni kwan a ye fa so ene saa go smugglers ni illegal gold traders ya ba be di no no e de ni nyina ato mo anim na minim se boboa ye ni nyina ye kan ho bomu a e be di saa how isu nkunim ama oman Ghana afade to my preference ya da mu nyina amase. All right, I know you've been here for a long time, so I want to thank you and sincere apologies. We had a board meeting which dragged beyond the time we expected it to close. So we'll leave you in the capable hands of our media relations officers who will attend to you.